Welcome everyone to another video of What If Civilization Started Over. And today we are looking at the Moscovians. Why the Moscovians? Well, the Moscovians are gonna do something. No one is going to like it. Absolutely no one. And that is have a revolution because they haven't been paying attention to their people. So, what we have happening is two major cities will have a problem with the current ruling government, and they're going to declare their independence. Well, not declare it perhaps, but say that they are now independent. They don't like the nation's monarchy, and they just don't want really anything else to do with it. And due to them saying this in a letter that was supposed to arrive 5 months ago, they were having ample time continuing to grow in strength because people that were in the area that got news of this thing start to also come around and join them. So yeah, we also have another major city kind of declare that it is with these guys, and then we have a large sizable rebellion in progress. And as soon as it was ready, it was around the time that well, what can I say? Something can happen and something can't happen. And the something that can happen is that I'm going to color all of these into a darker blue because I really want to, because color matters. But we do see that it's unseeable. There we go. We see that the rebels will start their move with connecting up these two areas, these two pockets. After doing that, their forces will attempt to take at least some more ground because they want to make a buffer area between the actual Moscovian nation and their own little rebellion. But what we do see else happening is that over in the north, due to the major cities, we see that a lot of people just sign up for the rebellion, and another major city is taken, and people from there sign up because the forces there were crushed in a pitiful defeat, and yeah, we see that the rebellion is making headway into enemy territory, and they're making a large amounts, like large amounts of gains. And it's around this time that we do see that somebody's now funding this, and that somebody is two people, and that's this guy and this guy. And then another nation declares its independence because, well, yeah, it just wanted independence. It really wanted it. Definitely not being supplied by anyone. Anyone. And same with this guy, who also joined this other rebellion. And as you can see, these two rebellions are touching. Not that weirdly, but we do see them making a promise to these guys that if they are allowed to take these areas around them, they are going to be neutral towards these guys. They are going to help them too, but not that much. And we're going to see that the rebellions are going to be mostly in the more important areas of the Moscovian nation. And then we have, yeah, a very large breakaway. And this is going to be the Siberian nation. Now, if you guys don't know, if we have a Siberian nation, that means they have a lot of unwanted lands next to them. So yeah. And as we can see, due to this Siberian nation being this big, they can't really stay afloat. Meaning, also, forgot to add, Kazakhstan kinda took a bit of land back. A bit of land. And we see a Kazakh Moscovian nation pop up. And right after that, we see another nation near this lake over here that is going to use this lake as a base camp, basically. And all of these nations that are popping out are going to be anti-Moscovian. So, yeah, we also see one bigger one popping up, and that's going to be not in the favor of anyone over here, because this guy is kind of anti-everyone. First anarchist, basically. Because for order, you have an ideology that wants order. And this guy doesn't want order. This guy just wants complete order anarchy. As we can see, it's quite big. Very big. But Moscow doesn't really care about these areas. It does care about just taking a bit more land before it kind of falls apart. Also, they're not gonna go over here because not worth it. They are going to try and pit these two rebellions against each other, but due to the prior agreement, both just see this as, oh, it's the Moscovians trying to put us against each other. How about we just work together? And it's around this time that we see this Green Rebellion taking over this major city, and then focusing their efforts on taking the other one as well. We do see them actually trying to make an encirclement, as they don't have any logistical or tactical advantage over here. But once they make this encirclement, immediately decides to fold over to help the other ones, the rebellion people. And once the rebellion sees, oh, this is actually quite a bit good strategy, it kind of tells the same thing to this guy, who kind of makes two of their own encirclement opportunities. And the first one is closed while the other one is kind of pushed out. Even though they are making headway into encircling it, they are kind of still wanting to push it out. And the second one decides to go with the rebellion, and it's around this time that we see another major city being taken. And Russia, Moscovy, how about this? Another nation breaks away from you, and you decide to surrender. No? Okay, then another nation just breaks away from you anyway. Yeah, we see this nation over here deciding to break away, with it being quite small already. It seems like it won't survive. But surprisingly, it actually is quite centralized, as it manages to gain a lot of funding from the Baltic nation. And yeah, it just causes a lot of pain for the Moscovian nation, as they see a lot of potential in just having all of these lands, the Moscovians, because they can use the wood from here to make ships. Ships can be used for naval purposes, and yeah, it's around this time that the rebellion kind of comes around and does stuff. So, oh, actually, let me just make them a bit darker. Yeah, that's the color I want. So we're going to see them. We're going to see the rebellion of here quickly make connections up with the Baltic nation, and it's around this time that the Russian nation finally sees that everyone's been planning their downfall ever since their king kind of declared that it would invade, that he will tell his forces to invade anyone if they dare to even step land on this nation. his nation, and everyone didn't like that because they were actually planning to invade him, but not in a large bunch of nations. So yeah, and it's also going to be bad for him because he finally sees that of his ways a bit too late, and the people start to see that, oh, the rebellions are getting too big, we are losing so much land, we are losing too many troops. You know what? The armies over here are going to just be stronger than us in every way, so we're just gonna, yeah, we're gonna we're gonna just join these guys. So we see massive swaths of rebellion troops of the Green Rebellion just pop up everywhere, even in the non major city areas, like over here. Although the major city areas are bigger than the non-major city areas, that's because they have more people. It still is a magnificent amount of people that are still like believing in the rebellion, and this causes the rebellion to grow in size quite fast and quite rapidly, which does not, for some reason, make it falter. That's because it can actually deal with this influx of people. And what it does is it's going to have half of those people that wanted independence be in the military, and the other one half is going to make sure that the military is like strong in a way. Although they don't really get another major city because it kind of just declares independent that it will fall over to these guys. We finally see the Moscovian nation decide that it's around this time that they want to actually declare their surrender, but they just don't want to do it unless another major city is lost. Oh, there goes another major city, and it's already high noon that they kind of should stop their meaningless resistance to the rebellions because they're already that big, and one is already next to the capital basically, and well, there's only a few major cities to go until this guy kinda, yeah. So we see that these guys will make their agreements and all of that stuff. We see that a bit of land is going to be exchanged over here, as well, these guys kind of want to make a land exchange. So we're going to have something like this be made in their little area. A small piece of land is going to go extra to them, and well, we do see another green nation kinda decide to declare independence, and that's going to be around this area over here. But as you can see, the green nation is going to be quite weird in shape, but they're not gonna have anything against that. We see that this guy is going to actually make quite the demand for its own, well, its own surprise, as its ambassadors really want everything that it took except for a few areas that will, well, go over to the new nation over here. Now for this new nation, it's kind of honored that it's allowed to exist in like the state that it is. Otherwise it would like be too small for anything, and this area over here is going to be given over back to the Russians. Now this looks like a bad idea because, well, yeah, but just to make sure that everything's okay, this area is given back, and this area is not occupied, but because, well, yeah. But for this rebellion, they just want their other full-on independence. They also want a bit more land because, well, greediness leads to more greediness. That's in trade for these lands, and in gain for these lands, they're also going to give up a bit more land. So, yeah. They're also going to try and take at least some more land before they kind of decide to stop. And basically, these areas are going to be given over to them, and these are going to be given over to them. So we see three 6 or 7 new, goddamn, 8 new nations because of the new green nation as well. So I'm gonna need to paste down some capitals because, well, not why not? Why not? We are going to have this green guy have its capital in its central area, like this. We're going to have this guy have its capital in the only city that it does have. This guy is going to also put its capital in the central ports, but this guy put its capital all the way in the north. Why? Because it just wants to do that. I don't know why, but my shoulder is getting cramps. Oh, that does not feel good. Okay, what can you do? Looking at the now remade map, we can see that all of these guys are still in their own states. This is a lot of their own, and yeah, Moscow is now severely weakened, and for the red team, they're also gonna have a few problems now because, well, jokes on you because you kind of forgot to do much. That's because they're going to have a rebellion that is going to quickly become a sovereign state because, well, the Reds kind of just weren't ready for the rebellion, so they kind of said, okay, we're going to give you your independence, and that's if you stop your whole thing over here that's really about like independence. We'll give you your independence, just stop being so mad at us. And the people over here are going to be like, okay, for now we just trust you. And we see that most of the areas over here that were once the red teams are going to now go over to this guy. And as you can see, they have inherited a large amount of population. But due to this breakaway, we see a lot of the guys looking around this guy, looking at, how I would like to purchase some land, and that's what this guy does. It does purchase some land. I cannot speak. I'm not able to speak. I'm so dumb. I'm not able to speak. We do see it gain a bit of land through buying things. So yeah, it kind of just yeah. Oh, yeah. So this guy has bought a piece of land. For even though it was a Miso City, this guy kinda didn't care about it because it kinda didn't do anything. Now let's go over to the tribal areas because we're gonna have another tribe down over here. And yeah. Also, this area, now the Dutch kinda left it. After a bit of like being told to leave by other nations because they kinda didn't want them to, the Dutch to have it, they kinda left. So yeah, and we see this tribal nation kind of declare their nation's existence to the outside world by raiding the ships that go past them. Yes, they raid ships that go past them. They don't really care about who it is, they just raid them, and any gold, any minerals that they can get their hands on, they take. And they just take until they're actually noticed by other European powers, and they're like, bro, stop it or we're going to make you stop. Also, Red Team's colony expands into a large expansive colony, basically. And they're going to have it be like Let me just fix up some white spots because I don't want the white spots. The white spots looks bad. Very bad. Bad. And we're also going to see that the red team will. I'm going to go back to the thing very quick, but quickly we're going to have just some stuff happen. And yep, there we go. We see that this nation over here will have a satellite state that will be kind of different from them in a way. It's going to have a new tribe that it kind of had in its grasp, kind of. Take the role of doing the bad stuff. It will be the guy who will not do the bad stuff, but will blame everything on the other guy for doing it, because well, they just want something to blame on and they want to do it themselves, even though the ships are clearly in the area that they are. But this is blame that these guys have like better ships than they do, so kinda works, kinda doesn't. Who knows, maybe it will. We see that this new tribe over here will actually, I'm gonna remake it. This tribe will actually be the tribe. Finally, will be in multiple spots because it's a scattered tribe, and it's one of the first of its kind. Well, not one of the first, but it is the first. So yeah. And it's going to be the first to make an ethnic thing happen over here. Also to make an ethnic map. I should make an ethnic map. I should. But can't. Happens. We do see that this southern Hungarian nation will start to slowly, well, be influenced by the Italians, but for the Italians, they're going to start another campaign, and that's to take over all of, well, you know who, the Libyans. They're going to do this by landing troops in two spots, over here and over here, just to cut off any communication and take two major cities. And they're going to take the coast and the capital, but they don't find the king over there because, well, turns out the king is actually way over here making diplomatic stuff happen, and everyone's kind of mad that this has happened. But the Italians are going to take over the, well, central parts of the nation. The provinces that they do manage to take half of are going to be this one over here, where they take half of it, a bit over half, but yeah. They also push into half of this province, half of this province, basically over half of that province, and they take two more provinces before going into the half of this one and taking another half of this guy. So they have now just made themselves quite a large landing thingy over here. And the Libyan forces start to respond by doing some things over here, and this Tunisian thing, yeah, it's going to be that's what's left. That's what's left. But these guys kind of don't care and take it obviously still. But we do see that the Libyan troops over here will go with their two generals, and they will form two columns of forces. The first one will engage in a battle over here in the north, partially because they want to take this major city, and they're gonna try and encircle it, and they do, managing to lay down the first sieges. Cheese. I cannot speak. Why can't I speak? I want to speak. Siege. Yeah, siege. Tactic. Also, they kind of lose two more major cities before kind of seeing that, oh, if we take this, we kind of manage to take back. but they kind of, when they try to approach this whole thing, they have problems. Also, their friends over here don't really have the same luck as them, so yeah. Going back to provinces, we see that not really one else, no one else really has any more provinces to deal with. Also, Morocco is quite kinda expansive and a bit too big, as you can see. And yeah, wait, I'm gonna have to save because I wanna save before I leave, because remembering to save is remembering to save yourself, basically. And we see that the Italians will make their move by deciding that they will want to take over more than just one province. They want to take over a lot of provinces. But Egypt, seeing the large expansionist movement from Italy, slowly getting near the borders, just 3 or 1 province away from them, is going to be quite scared. So they're going to send some volunteer troops and some aid to the Libyans. But it's a bit too late, as the Libyans have decided that if they lose even one more province over in like the coastal regions, they are going to declare their surrender. And that happens when, in a counterattack over here, they kind of lose most of this province over here, but they do lose all of this province. Yeah, it kind of becomes a bloodbath for them. Also, they once great this over here, yeah, it kind of doesn't remain. And once that happens, they kind of pull the troops out of this area, declare their surrender, and Libya has now decided that they want to make colonies out of this guy. So they're going to carve this guy up according to what borders they would like. First, they're not even going to sugarcoat it. They just want to make a few adjustments of the border. So yeah, they're also going to ignore the boundaries of this thing, and they're going to take all of this. All of this is now theirs, even the major cities. And as you can see, what's left is now going to be their puppet, basically. And the king of this area is going to be quite devastated at the loss of his own nation's land. He's going to be so devastated, in fact, that he will be even more devastated by the fact that he will lose all of this area, of this, to the Italians. And looking at the borders now, oh my god. Looking at the current borders, we see, oh my god, I forgot about this. We see that this is taken by the Italians, and we see that Italy is making their own little colonial empire. Now, they kind of do this because they just wanted land, but seeing how much Libya has now suffered, they have lost most of their crown lands, most of their valuable land, and 2 of their most valuable major cities, because this kind of was the, before these 2 got like annexed or taken. Everyone who wanted to go through the coastal areas over here, because they didn't really want to go for the turbulent waters, went through these 2 to gain some supplies, and then went around the coast of this until they had to stop around Morocco, and then they went everywhere else. The Suez Canal doesn't yet exist, but I will tell you guys that life will be good for the Italians, but bad for the Libyans, who are now going to have to accept the crushing demands of these guys. It's going to be that they are going to have to declare themselves as the puppets of their sworn enemy, You know what? I'm gonna do the puppet thing later, but we're also going to see that our good friends, the Catalonians, will kinda sell some land over to their friends over here, even though they didn't really want to. And we see that after the Gibraltar nation, the Gibraltarese, made a move, they will take over all of this. This is now theirs. Yes. So yeah, a slight border movement over here, but well, yeah, the Catalonians are gonna be like, bro, that is our land. Why did you need to take it? Also, this is annexed. Yes. Well, not really. They're going to actually have their independence, as they're kind of told to have their independence. Also, this alliance of these guys, yeah, they're the only ones in the alliance. So, yeah. Also, a thing will happen where the Switch nation is going to be told by the Italians to kind of do a raid on this nation, on the panel over here, but they're going to say nope, we're not gonna. And if you invade us, we're gonna join these guys. And they're like, we can't do anything. So these guys tell this guy to do the same, and they actually do this by promptly wanting to declare war on this guy, and they actually do so, and they're going to actually send troops in two armies, two small armies, into the Dutch nation. And this gave the Dutch team so much leverage because the Germanic troops were already in over here, so yeah. Not good visions for them for a while, and seeing how they were beaten back, this guy kinda in this area over here, yeah, in an afraid tone, will say, "Oh, I want independence. I want independence. Definitely not me being told to declare independence from you to make you weaker." And they will just be very, very like this. And for these guys, after the peace treaty, they are forced to lose. Wait, do they have no? They're going to have to give over a bit of land. They don't even have provinces. They are just going to have to give over an indiscriminate amount of land. And well, seeing how big this guy has gotten, everybody wants a piece of this guy now. So why not? This guy kind of takes these two pieces of land. Poland, you sleeky boy, you take these areas because, well, yeah. And yeah, this is what's left of this nation. I don't know why most of my saves kinda don't register, but so yeah, we see that this guy kinda survives. And that's the end of this video. I'm gonna see you guys next time, and bye bye.